Growing up, my life always seemed like an intricate puzzle filled with moments that were both beautiful and chaotic. My parents were central to everything, anchoring me with their unique blend of support and tension. My dad, an engineer with a knack for solving problems, spent countless evenings tinkering in the garage, teaching me lessons that went beyond gears and bolts. Mom, on the other hand, had a strictness in her that I never quite understood. She set the rules, and I learned quickly how to navigate around them, shaping myself into someone who could meet high expectations yet remain true to my own path. It was during my high school years that things began to unravel. The balance I once trusted started to shift under the weight of secrets. Life at home became a delicate dance, each step taken with caution. As my relationship with my parents evolved, Dad's unwavering support fueled my ambition, but Mom's complicated nature made trust an expensive currency. It was against this backdrop that a single day transformed everything, a day when loyalty, betrayal, and consequence collided. I'm Melinda Carson, but everyone calls me Linda. My dad, though, insists on calling me Keith. Don't ask why. Hold on a sec, I need to handle something. Quit it, Mom. If you don't stop crying right now, I'll have the doorman escort you out. This is supposed to be a happy occasion. Can't you see everyone else is smiling? I snapped at the woman sitting next to me. But this isn't right, she sobbed, looking for sympathy. I wasn't offering. Mom, look around, the whole town is here enjoying themselves. You're the one responsible for all this, so deal with it and try to have fun, I said, keeping my voice low. I forced a smile and waved at a few people who had noticed our exchange. Most guests were focused on the back of the church anyway. As I was saying, my dad is the only one who can call me Keith. I've lost my train of thought now. Let me start from the beginning. About a year ago, I came home from school trying to decide what to wear for the school's harvest dance. The Harvest Festival was the highlight of the year, a dinner and dance outdoors. Since we live in California, the weather is nice enough in October and November for outdoor events. It can get a bit chilly in the evening, but a light jacket or cape is enough. I needed the perfect outfit. Though I'm not a cheerleader, I'm well liked, so I wanted to make a good impression. I wasn't worried about finding a date. I've been with the same guy since sophomore year. He's a preacher's kid with strong values, but we know how to have fun. My mom always said my goal was to stay pure until marriage, but I had other plans. I wanted Dean to wake up afraid, not exhausted. I'm known for my intellect, and was in the National Honor Society all through high school. I kept a 4.0 GPA except for my freshman year, when I got a C in PE. I've never been athletic. I see that summer my dad helped me get in shape. We ran together every morning, and by the time school started again, all those exercises that once seemed impossible were easy. I also noticed my body had changed. I was stronger and more coordinated. My figure became more toned, and I looked different in my uniform. Becky Thatcher, my best friend since childhood, was the first to notice. What happened to you over the summer? She asked. Did you take supermodel classes or something? Do you have implants? No, I laughed. Just spent time with Dad, and I got highlights in my hair. When school started, I could do 25 push-ups and felt great about it. During gym class, my PE teacher asked who I was after seeing me perform. Even Becky was impressed. Linda, you did 25 push-ups, she said, wide-eyed. I should have kept quiet while doing them. I joked, you did push-ups like the guys. The teacher said no one came close to your score. I finished my squats, and the teacher told me to stop. You only needed 50 for the max, he said. Last year, I couldn't do a single pull-up. I had to settle for a hang where you pull yourself up and hold your chin over the bar. They had to lift me into place, and I could only manage 2 seconds this year. I went right after Milburn Dale, a big football player. Despite his size, he only did 11 pull-ups. I jumped on the bar and did 12. When I landed, I could hear a few surprised sighs. My dad had me do pull-up sets with a weight belt, rewarding me with donuts each time I beat my record. The second and third sets were the hardest, but after practicing with added weight, doing 12 without it felt easy. At the end of the gym class, everyone was talking about me. Guys who never noticed me before were suddenly giving me attention. Becky, my best friend, enjoyed it. We were still sitting with the same people, and I liked being around smart people. I don't think I changed much through high school, but others saw me differently by sophomore year. Last year, in my senior year, I came home early after my English class was cancelled. As I walked through the house, I heard sounds coming from my parents' bedroom. I knocked on the door and told them I needed their help with something. When I opened the door, I found my mom hurriedly getting dressed, and the principal of my school pulling up his pants. You're a traitor, I yelled at my mom, and you, Mr. Eddington, my dad will fire you when this gets out. I slammed the door and ran out. My phone rang. Almost immediately it was my mom, but I hung up and went to Becky's house, staying there until I knew my dad was home. When I got back, I saw his Mustang in the driveway, loud Shiny and angry looking, I let myself in, and my dad greeted me with his usual hug. "Are you okay, kitten?" he asked. "It's been a rough day, Dad," I said. "You think you can trust people, but they turn out to be full of it." My mom turned pale at my words. "Melinda," she started. I gave her a sharp look. My dad didn't notice. "Dad, we need to talk," I said. "Sure, Keith, after dinner, or now after dinner, Daddy," I replied. My dad always had a way of making me feel safe. He was an automobile engineer and knew how to look at problems from different angles. He started talking about tuning his car. While my mom and I prepared dinner, she grabbed my hand, but I yanked it away. "Don't touch me," I hissed. "Not after what I saw." "Melinda, I need to explain," she said. "Explain what? You've always put me down. You told me I couldn't do this, or that Dad believed in me. He always told me to go for it. You, on the other hand, always said I couldn't, whether it was running for prom queen or becoming a prosecutor. You just crushed my dreams." "Mom, watch your tone, young lady," she said. You're still my role model." I asked. "I don't think so, not when loyalty is in question. Dad deserves someone faithful, not this." "Isn't this the same lecture you gave me about trust? If you can't uphold it, don't preach it." "But Melinda, I love your father. It was a mistake. Just once, please give me another chance. It won't happen again," she pleaded. "Mom, a mistake is an accident or a lapse. This was deliberate, and probably not the first time. Bringing someone into Dad's bed isn't an accident. That man has a family too, with young kids. You didn't just make a mistake, you wrecked 2 families." "Melinda, I'm so sorry," she said. "Please don't do this. It'll destroy your father and tear our family apart." "You said it yourself. Why risk destroying 2 families? Call that man and quit your job. Find a new one if needed. But if you go back, I'll tell Dad. Hand over your phone. If he calls, I'll answer. I'll be checking phone records from now on. Don't talk to me. You're gone. You died today." Convince Dad to sleep in the guest room and buy a new bed. Make up a reason like mold or bed bugs. I don't care how, just do it. "But Melinda, your father will notice if things change. You're in your senior year. Big events are coming. Yuck, need your mom," she said. "I'll find someone I trust to fill that role," I said coldly. I turned and took her purse, handing it to her. "Can I call him?" she asked. "No, I have your phone," I said. She handed me her phone, and I said, "Call him at home so his wife answers. Let her hear you ask for him. Maybe then you'll grow the damage you've done." "Do you have to speak like this?" she asked. "Yes, Teresa," I said. "You told me being a lady means acting appropriately for the situation. This is my appropriate response to a person with no morals or loyalty, and we're done talking. Once I leave for college, I'll only come back for Dad. I have one more thing to ask." She looked at me defeated. "Whenever something important happens in my life, you should be unavailable. This means no graduation, no wedding, and no meeting my future children." "Got it," she nodded. "Call him." She picked up the home phone and dialed. "I need to quit. You'll need another secretary. I won't be back. Have my things sent to me, not by you, and don't call again, or Melinda will tell my husband goodbye." "Well done," I said. "It hurts." She whispered. "What hurts?" I asked. "Ending things with your affair partner. Feeling that pit in your stomach." "No, Melinda," she said softly. "I don't love him. I love your father." Russell was just enough, I interrupted. "If you loved Dad, this wouldn't have happened." "Melinda, you're young. One day you'll understand," she said. "I hope I never see things your way." I said, "I'll never understand how a woman can betray a man who loves her. Do you even know half the rumors about Mr. Eddington? You're not the first, not even the first from school, just the most recent. He'll replace you in a week." I pocketed her phone and left the room. I headed to the garage, where Dad was tinkering with his Mustang, connecting his new tuner. Neighbors stood around watching. When he saw me, he smiled. "Supper ready?" he asked. "Not yet, Dad," I said. "Take your time." My dad, despite being an adult, was innocent in many ways. He was content, always joking with neighbors, and I felt bad at the thought of taking that joy from him. He worked hard for our family, and Mom only started working a few years ago when I could manage on my own. She started as a volunteer at my school and eventually became Eddington's secretary. For Dad's sake, I kept quiet, even if it felt risky. The next school day began fine, but I was called to the principal's office during first period, and things changed. Eddington's office was empty. "Close the door, Melinda," he said. "I'd rather leave it open," I responded. "Can you cover it, at least?" He asked why this conversation should be private. "There's nothing to discuss," I said. "What about your future?" he continued. "If your GPA drops, your college choices might too." "How would that happen?" I asked. "Teachers could grade tougher," he said with a smirk. "And I bet you have a solution," I replied. He nodded. "What happened with your mom and me was a mistake. Let's not let it affect you." I slammed the door. "Who Do you think you are some movie villain? This is the 21st century. I worked for my grades, and if they drop I'll show my work to my teachers. Most RESP respect me more than you, plus I have proof. I held up my phone with the recorded threat. He slumped. Now I have proof of your attempt to intimidate me. Isn't that illegal? I continued. You're not just a womanizer, you're trying to threaten students. What scares you more, Russell, losing your job or facing my dad? It's Mr. Eddington, he muttered. Mr. implies respect, which you don't have. I said, I already decided not to tell my dad or your wife. Think about that. While I head back to class in the hallway, I met my favorite teacher, Mrs. Aubra. Are you okay, Melinda? She asked. Seeing her made everything clear. Mrs. Aubra was admired by everyone. Boys stared at her, and girls felt overshadowed by her natural grace. She had effortless beauty, always outshining others. Her hair was a unique light brown that changed shades in the sun, naturally highlighted and eye-catching. It flowed gracefully to her waist, a look most pain to achieve. Her striking face matched her hair. Her deep blue eyes could distract anyone, especially when she taught math. Some boys said they lost focus in her gaze. Her small delicate nose and light makeup enhanced her look, making her freckles charming when visible. Her mouth was annoyingly perfect, with naturally shaped lips and a flawless cupid's bow. Bright white teeth and quick smiles lit up any room. Her petite frame made her 34C chest seem more noticeable, with a 23 inches waist highlighting her hips and toned legs from daily runs. Despite her looks, she had quirks. Teaching math and science, she often wore a lab coat, long skirts, buttoned blouses, and safety glasses. Seemingly unaware of her appearance, she was genuinely kind, helping students with extra time and encouraging shy, bright ones. But she didn't tolerate nonsense, even from athletes, once refusing to help a coach when a player's grade slipped. Years ago, a coach tried to win her over, so she avoided events he attended. Other teachers tried dating her, but failed. Rumors suggested she preferred women, but Mom mentioned she was once married. Her maiden name was Troy, and her husband, a childhood friend, died in an army training accident involving falling shells. When I left Eddington's office, Mrs. Aubra saw me. Are you okay, Melinda? She asked. Yes, ma'am, he just frustrates me, I replied. I understand, she said. I didn't expect to see you there. Everything all right? Yes, but I need some advice, woman to man. On style. Oh, should we ask Mrs. Delacroix? She's an expert on Paris fashion. That showed how unaware she was of her own elegance. No, I meant you, Mrs. Aubramy, she said, surprised. But you're more beautiful. I'm not sure I'd know where to start, but I could help with math anytime. Okay, she smiled. I'll try, but I need your help too. Anything, ma'am? I'm struggling to get freshmen and sophomores interested in the nature hike. They prefer their screens if you join. Maybe more will sign up. I thought. She's clueless. All she'd need to do was make an announcement without her lab coat, and every guy would join. Once the guys came, the girls would follow. I'll do more than tell people, I said. I'll be there. Can I bring a friend? Of course, she said, smiling. The more the better. Later I got home and ran into Mom. Hi, sweetheart, she said with a smile. I looked at her confused. I was 18, yet she welcomed me with milk and cookies. Hi, Teresa, I said coldly. I thought we weren't speaking, Melinda. This is silly, she said. We're family. We should at least try to get along. Have you ever heard you can't go home again? I asked. She frowned. What does that mean? People leave, succeed, and come back to find things have changed. What once seemed great isn't anymore, I explained with a small smile. I still don't get it, she said. You said I came from your womb, but after what I saw yesterday, I'd never go back. You have rules you don't follow yourself. I have nothing left to learn from you and no respect for you. We don't need to talk, but we're family. She said. We need to forgive each other. If you don't like my decision, we can tell Dad and let him decide. I said. You betrayed him. What has Eddington done for you? Was he there when you were sick? Did he support you like Dad did? What made you betray him? Nothing, she whispered. So if I tell Dad, you'll lose him, and me too, right? She nodded. Teresa, just stop, I said firmly. I can't believe the girl I raised is so unforgiving, she said, tearing up. Stop crying, I said. I'm Daddy's girl. If anyone else heard him, I'd ruin their life. You got off easy. If this happens again, you're done. Later as Dad and I prepared for a run. Mom asked to join. You don't like running, I said. I can ride your old bike, she suggested. It has a flat tire, I replied. But if you want to hear about school events and convince Dad to go, fine. We can also discuss yesterday. Then I can't come, she said quickly. I'm too out of shape. I love you as you are, Dad said, kissing her. I almost rolled my eyes as Mom smiled at me triumphantly. Once Dad went to change, she turned to me. See, Melinda, he's not hurt. He still loves me. I just needed a bit of excitement. It'll be exciting when he divorces you, I said with a smile. She sighed and walked away to clean. Dad and I ran and talked about work, the Mustang, and Mrs. Aubra's trip. Dad agreed to join me and even suggested Mom come. I said I'd already asked, but she had plans on Saturday. Dad and I grabbed breakfast, and as we finished, Mrs. Aubra Arrived in her new Pontiac GTO, Dad immediately checked out her car, admiring the details. "This is my dad," I said, a car enthusiast dad. "Meet my teacher," I called out. "Don't worry, your car's more powerful." Just then a van with coach cleats and the team pulled up. "Hi," Dad said, shaking her hand shyly. "I'm Jim Carson, Keith's dad." "Elena," she replied, holding his hand a moment too long. "I wanted to ask you something," Dad began, but Coach Cleats interrupted. "Hello, beauty," he said. "I brought the team to help. Cars kept arriving, and kids spilled out with their families. I don't see how football helps." Mrs. Obra said, "I need water, soil, and plant samples. If they mess up, we'll need to redo it." "They'll be fine, beauty," Coach Cleat said. "You and I can go look around together." "See you later, Elena," Dad said, moving away. "Elena, huh?" Coach Cleat said. "Leighton, get started." "It's Mrs. Obra," she corrected Ed firmly. "I don't like being called pretty. We're not friends. Watch your players, so they don't damage the plants. We're studying nature, not wrecking it." Cleats turned red, and a player whispered, "Do shut down." I followed Mrs. Obra, and the day went quickly as Dad and I gathered samples. She followed, asking questions and getting excited about our finds. They worked well together, though surrounded by others. Dad was often engaged by moms and kids, while men tried to talk to Mrs. Obra. By late afternoon, the bus came to collect the samples. Mrs. Obra thanked everyone as the crowd dispersed, ready to leave. I noticed Eddington briefly appear, then drive off. When he saw me with Dad, I also spotted Mom's car, unsure if she was there for him or me. "Jim," Mrs. Obra said as we got in the car, "thank you for helping today. You and Melinda were great. You were about to ask me something earlier, weren't you?" Dad looked embarrassed, and she smiled. "Come on, Dad, just invite her to dinner." "I thought it's personal," Dad said awkwardly. "Jim, you spent the day helping me," she said. "Just ask." Dad paused. "I'd really love to check out the GTO's engine. It's a 5.7L V8 like the Corvette, but only makes 350 horsepower. My 5.0L Mustang has 462 horsepower. "Why is that?" Mrs. Obra laughed. "I have no clue what you mean, but take a look." She smiled, lifting the hood. Dad examined it eagerly with her standing beside him. Then Coach Cleat appeared. "What's wrong with your car?" Mrs. Obra. "Nothing," she said. "Do you need something?" "No, I'm free tonight," he said. "I can help." "Maybe it's the carburetor." "This car doesn't have a carburetor," Dad pointed out. "Exactly," Cleat said. "I'll use starting fluid in the injector. Let me know if you need help." "Yes, I have your number," she said, sarcasm in her voice. Dad and I said our goodbye and headed home. When we arrived, Mom hadn't made dinner. She looked uncertain and hugged Dad, glancing at me. I kept a neutral face. "Melinda, don't you have a date tonight?" she asked. "Dean and I went out last night. He's helping his dad clean the church tonight. We'll plan something for tomorrow," I said. Mom got defensive. "I wasn't trying to cause trouble. I just want you to enjoy yourself. It's your last school year, and next year you'll need to focus on law school. You deserve a break." Mom, life isn't all fun." I had a great day with Dad, and even helped my teacher. "You're right, I'm leaving for college soon, so I want to make the most of our time. And you always told me that family comes first. To stand by your partner." "Dean's parents are religious, so we go along with their plans. You taught me to put relationships first." She went pale at my reminder. "I like how you put that, Mom," I said. "Girls who juggle too much often end up alone." She looked shocked. "I didn't make dinner," she said, changing the topic. "Maybe we could just order pizza and watch TV." "Sounds good," I said. I pulled Dad out of the kitchen. "I'll order." "Dad, you pick a movie, but no sad love stories." When Dad went to pick up the pizza, he started chatting about his Mustang with the delivery guy. Mom seized the moment. "It'd be nice if you'd give me some time alone with your dad," she said. "How can I make things right if you're always here?" "Three things," I said sharply. "First, get tested before you think about being close to him. Second, I saw you at the park with your friend. If I catch you talking to him, it's over." Third, I thought we weren't talking. Dad walked back in with the pizza. "I'll get drinks," he said, not sensing the tension. Mom patted my shoulder and smiled. He didn't notice anything. He was calm unless family or his car was involved. Once he was in the kitchen, we faced off again. "If you touch me again, you'll be divorced before you know it," I warned. "Melinda, I'm not your enemy. I know you and Dad planned for you to be a lawyer, but you treat me like a criminal," she said, trying to sound gentle. "Even criminals are innocent until proven guilty." "Mom, you and Dad promised to be faithful, right?" I asked. "Yes," she muttered. "Didn't that mean trust and loyalty?" I pressed. "Yes," she said. "You broke it." "I don't need proof. I saw it. True or false?" "Yes," she admitted. "Can't I fix it?" she pleaded. "When someone deals, they return what they took and apologize, don't they?" "That's not how it works, Mom. If someone robs a bank, returning the money doesn't stop them from going to jail. You can't fix this with an apology." "I treated you better than you deserved. I should have told Dad everything. You could end up living with Grandma. You won't keep the house. Dad paid for it, and you're not even on the mortgage. Plus, since I'll be in college, the